All right, so for this video, we're going to start by talking about why Pete was better than Leo. And you can get out your anthology and turn to page 95, but I will also show it up here. So one of the things we can see comparing Pete's version of Vivaderant Omnis to Leo's version of Vivaderant Omnis is that the complexity is dialed up quite a bit. We have, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 voices, which is unique. Nothing like this so far. We call them, and this is the tenor, of course. And then we've got a duplum, and we've got a triplum, and we've got a quadruplum above the tenor. Another thing that is different from Leo's version is clear rhythm throughout. None of this sort of rhythmic-ish stuff. The tenor is just in its long holding notes, but you can see, and if, I didn't put all the pages in here, but if you flip through the anthology, you'll see it's the rhythm is exactly notated throughout. Another thing to notice is Pete is having a good time. So look at this in the triplum here, and then down here he swaps the voices, and then look down here at the duplum and look up here at the triplum, and then you can see the same thing as well. We have this what's called voice exchange, and unless you are listening, unless you're in person and the singers are sort of spread out, or you're listening on very good headphones and they do something with the way it's like the stereo aspect, there's no audible factor here. This is just Pete having fun, right? This is play. This is kind of art. It's kind of like that one versus that we listened to on Tuesday where the voices just exchanged, right? It's not just ornamentation and decoration. Pete is having fun playing around within a system. Another thing to look at are the intervals at the opening here. Nope, not that. Stop. Done. Cancel. Sorry, everybody. So if you look at these intervals, these notes here, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see we've got a B flat and an E, there's a tritone there, and then a D, making a major third from here to here, and a major second from here to here. So a tritone and a major second in the same thing, which then resolve to F, which is going to be the final, and then a doubling of the fifth. This is a super dissonant combination that then resolves. It's kind of like almost like an accorsus, kind of, with this stepwise motion in here to the final, and then these other stepwise motions to the fifth. But it's almost like kind of the start of a sense of harmony. And then one last thing that I want to point out about this was that it plays into all caps musica that I've talked about before as well, connecting with the ideas of the ancients and the kind of mathematical aspect, because what you see in this opening and what you hear over and over again are the intervals. We have perfect fifth, and then here we've got a perfect octave, and then here we've got a perfect fourth, which are all the Pythagorean ratios: perfect fifth, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, perfect octave. So right at the start, you hear this announcement of the ancient principles of consonants. Take a second and listen. And one of the things that well, let's see how this works. Okay. These are the perfect consonances. And then etc. It's these little small phrases that have sort of starts and beginnings and endings. It's more sort of like, structurally tight, all of this stuff. This is not really what we're used to hearing. We haven't seen anything like this before. And this wasn't the only one. There were 2 of these 4-voice settings made by Pete. They were requested specifically by the Pope for very special events. This was the fanciest music of its time. And so as far as answering the question, why was Pete better than Leo? This is it, because he created these 2 gigantic 4-voice settings that were very, very famous and fancy.